So you're thinking about buying a franchise. That's a huge step, and you've got to do your homework. In this explainer, we're going to walk through a simple 6-step playbook to make sure you pick a winner.
You've got that entrepreneurial fire, right? You can see the potential. I mean, the idea of owning your own business, but with a proven system already in place, it's super exciting. You're ready to make that jump.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There are so many options out there. How in the world do you cut through all the noise and find the one that is genuinely right for you? Well, you need a process. Okay, before we even get into the steps, we need to get our heads in the right space. This is not you just trying to buy a business. It's what we call mutual elimination. Think about it. You're investigating them, and believe me, they are investigating you. It's a two-way street. And if it's not the perfect fit, either one of you can just walk away, no harm, no foul. So, here's our game plan, our 6-step playbook. We're going to start with that mutual audition. Then we'll decode the all-important FDD, talk to the people already in the trenches, the franchisees, verify the system, meet the key players, and then finally, make that big decision. All right, let's dive into step 1. I want you to think of this as the first handshake. It's a simple back and forth to see if it even makes sense to keep talking. It's really straightforward. The franchisor, they'll give you some general info about their company. And in return, you'll fill out a questionnaire about you, your background, your goals, that kind of thing. It just helps them see if you're the type of person they're looking for. If you both like what you see, then it's time to move on to the real deep dive. Okay, now we're getting to the real heart of your investigation. Step 2 is all about something called the Franchise Disclosure Document, or FDD. This thing is your blueprint for everything. The FDD is a federally mandated document. What that means is every single franchisor has to give it to you, and it always follows the same format. It is jam-packed with absolutely critical information you need for your investigation. Seriously, think of this document as a treasure map. Inside, you're going to find the whole company history, a super detailed breakdown of every cost and fee, any lawsuits they've been mixed up in, and this is huge, their audited financial statements, and a complete list of every single current franchisee. Now, here's a crucial point. Some FDDs have what's called a financial performance representation, or an earnings claim. This can save you a ton of time, but you cannot just take these numbers as gospel. You have to verify them with the people actually living it, which, hey, leads us perfectly into our next step. And that brings us to step 3, which is, and I'm not exaggerating here, probably the single most important part of this entire process. You have to talk to the existing franchisees. I mean, the source material just nails it right here. Paper promises and glossy brochures are one thing, right? But the reality on the ground, that comes from the people who are already running the business day in and day out. Trust me, their attitude on any given topic is very likely going to be your attitude. So, what do you ask them? Well, you've got to hit the big stuff. How good was the training and support, really? Is the marketing actually working? Does being part of this big system actually save you money on supplies? And then, of course, the big 2. What was the real, all-in, no-kidding cost to get your doors open? And what's the real earnings potential here? Now, here is a fantastic tactic. Don't just talk to the people the franchisors suggest, the super happy ones. Go out of your way to find someone who's unhappy. Then, after you've talked to both, ask yourself, who do I identify with more? If you find yourself nodding along with the person who has all the complaints, that is a massive red flag that the system is not for you. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you when you're making these calls. Don't just lead with, so how much money do you make? That's a bit much. Build a little rapport first. Ask about their training, about the support, about marketing. Once they see you're a serious candidate who's done their homework, they'll be way more willing to open up about the financials. Okay, let's move on to step 4. This one is a quick but absolutely critical check. You just need to make sure that all those systems the franchisor promised you are actually real and written down somewhere. A strong franchise will have detailed manuals for pretty much everything. Now, they're not going to hand over their secret sauce, of course, but they should have zero problem showing you the table of contents for their manuals. It's a simple request, but it proves the documentation is real, and it gives you a fantastic sense of just how comprehensive their support actually is. Step 5 is all about putting some faces to the names. This could be a formal discovery day at their headquarters, or maybe it's a series of video calls. Either way, you need to meet the team. And here's the one question I want you to keep in the front of your mind this whole time. It's not about being wowed by the CEO. It's about this. Who is going to answer the phone when you have a serious problem on a random Tuesday afternoon? Who's your lifeline? Look, the president of the company is supposed to be impressive. That's literally their job. But they're not the person you're going to be working with day to day. The person you really need to size up is your direct operational support contact. Is this person competent? Do you get a good vibe from them? Do you trust them? Because that person is going to be your most important relationship in the entire company. And at last, we've arrived at step 6. The investigation's over. You've done the work, you've talked to people, you've gathered all the facts. Now it's time to make a decision. And hey, don't feel like this has to be some process that drags on for months and months. If you're really diligent about it, this whole thing, from start to finish, usually takes about 2 to 4 weeks. It's a focused sprint, and then you'll have the clarity you need. And the final piece of advice from our source material is it's the most powerful. Do not settle for good enough. You've built a picture in your mind of what you want in a business. If this company has everything you wanted, great, do it. But if it doesn't, have the courage to eliminate it and move on to the next one. So in the end, as you look at any opportunity, this is the ultimate question you have to ask yourself. After you've done your investigation, you will know the answer. Is this the one? Is it the perfect fit? Or is it time to use that power of mutual elimination and walk away to find a business that's truly meant for you?